Let's go, guys. We have the depth chart out, the official one. It is official game week. We got news. We're excited. And let's get into it. Want to do just an emergency drop, talk about it a little bit. We're going to dig into it way more, but we got to start with bad news, right? Everyone's probably heard Chase Wolf, torn meniscus, out for the year. Let's talk quarterback depth really quick because that's terrifying, right? It's straight up terrifying because we're on the verge of a Graham Mertz injury from devastating this season because there's nobody behind him now. Chase Wolf wasn't even a good option, but now that option's gone, right? And by the way, the coaches messed this up. I said this. It wasn't. I said several times, go to the portal, bring in somebody who can play a little bit, right? Just a little bit. And to not do that really puts you in the spot where there's just no depth on this quarterback room behind Graham Mertz. He's a sprained ankle. We're sprained ankle from needing Deacon Hill to win big time games or Miles Burkett to step up. That's a redshirt freshman, a true freshman. Deacon Hill didn't even go on the travel roster last year. So I really think the coaches messed up on the offseason on this particular spot. They had to go get somebody else that could at least provide stable quarterback play. And I set the bar really low. I said, I'm not even asking for a starter. I'm just somebody who could come in and manage the game if Mertz gets hurt, because we didn't think Wolf was that guy. Now Wolf's hurt. So that's big. Yeah, pray for Graham Mertz's health, because if something happens to him, it's a world of hurt, everybody. But let's keep going. All right, so depth chart. What else surprised us? What else interests us? All right, so I'm just going to rattle it off. Again, this is just a quick reaction. Leave some comments in the chat if you see them. We're going live, so if you throw some comments in there, I'll talk about them. It's just an emergency drop. Skylar Bell's the number 2 receiver, official. I think we saw that coming for a while, but that's what a leap for the redshirt freshman out of Connecticut, right? I think if you were to ask people before the season, it was Marcus Allen, Keontae Lewis. I thought it'd be Keontae Lewis potentially. But no, it is Skylar Bell. Had an incredible camp, and I think the receiving spot is in a great position. Let's keep going. Riley Mahlman, officially the right tackle. Again, not something that should surprise anybody. I think the tea leaves have been reading that for a while. And for those who want to say, it's amazing that Logan Brown, this 5-star kid, hasn't been able to get on the field. He's getting beat up by these other players. Riley Mahlman was a high 4-star player. Right, he is what you would call another blue chip recruit. So, and then you factor in that Logan Brown missed a full season plus with an injury. It's not as shocking, right? It's not as crazy. So, Riley Mahlman's right tackle. You know what's amazing about this roster? I was talking to the Locked On Auburn host, and he was saying, "Yeah, we have no blue chip offensive lineman on the roster." And I was like, "Yeah, our backup tackles are both 5-star guys, right? Logan Brown and obviously Rucci, both of our backup tackles are 5-star guys." I see you over there. We got a comment from Badger and Bournemouth. Glad to see you live. Skylar Bell could be a real good receiver, but it's up to Mertz to get it to him. No, I agree. Thanks for all the comments, man. You've seen the show a lot. You've been an awesome supporter. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, it's up to Mertz at the end of the day. And that depth chart is shaky like an old Western bridge, right? That's just held together by matchsticks. Like I said, emergency show drop. Let's keep going with the depth chart. Defensive end, Cade McDonald in the 2 deep. Now, some of that is Isaac Townsend being hurt, not available. I like Isaac Townsend a lot, the Oregon transfer from 2 seasons ago. I think he's going to be a really solid player, but he's hurt. It's nice to see Cade McDonald in that 2 deep. He's a guy who hasn't played a lot, but McDonald is a 6'6", 290-pound player. Maybe gives you a little bit of Isaiah Loudermilk, that big frame, can really get in passing lanes. Probably not the most disruptive athletically, but big frame defensive end. Look for him to make some plays this year. He has to get on the field and start really providing depth at that spot. Well, you got to go 2 deep on the D-line. We've talked about that a lot. Inside linebacker, right? That was one of the big battles. Well, we got it. We got at least week 1. Now, we talked about this a lot. Expect to see all of these dudes rotate in, right? All 4 of them. Chaney's going to rotate in. Tatum Grass is going to rotate in. Jordan Turner, I always thought, and I'm not alone on this, I'm not out on some island, I always thought that he would be one of the guys. He's too athletic, right? So he is one of the starters. And then Mayima Najimeta is the other. And he's a player that when he came on campus, people called him one of the sleepers in that class, right? One of the players that could really outplay his ranking. And then he had all the injury concerns, really missed some time. And it's nice to see him back. This could be the most athletic inside linebacker duo Wisconsin's had in a long time. Not the best, but one of the most athletic. So can't wait to see how that plays out. Jordan Turner is probably number 1, 2, or 3 on my list of players I'm most excited to see this year because I think his athletic ability is just going to drop draws, right? Drop jaws. Sorry, I'm excited. So I think he's going to do a ton of good stuff out there. Let's talk cornerbacks. Alex, huge news, right? This is maybe the best news on this depth chart. Alex Smith is listed at cornerback 1, or one of the 2 starting cornerbacks. He's been out all of camp, at least all of camp that has been reported on with a hamstring injury. And hamstrings and corners, hamstrings and receivers, hamstrings and skill position players, it's a major concern. So seeing him listed with the starters, big deal for Wisconsin because you're getting one of your top cornerbacks back in the fold. And it wouldn't have killed me if he had missed a game or two, right? Just because who we're starting with. But you need him out there. So to see him listed, I'm assuming they're not going to put him out there against Illinois State unless he's full go. That is big time. Big news. Nickelback spot is Cedric Dort, the Kentucky transfer, locking that down. And then, you know what else I found interesting? And leave, like I said, we're live, so leave a comment if there's something about the depth chart you're interested in. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Great opportunity for me again to say how much it means to me, the community we're building. I love it so much. We're going to do some giveaways coming up. So I'm really excited for that, just to really reward everybody that is helping us build this community. And that's 100% of what this is. So what's really interesting to me with the safeties, there was never really any major question with the starters, right? That was always going to be Wooler. It was always going to be Torchio. But the 2 deep's interesting. And the Kamoe Latu, the transfer from Utah, is in the 2 deep. So obviously an instant depth addition there. And then Preston Zachman, who was kind of a linebacker safety hybrid when he was recruited, got moved to safety, and then missed time with injuries. He's in the 2 deep. And I think that bodes really well for him. I think he's an in-the-box guy in the future, like a Stellmacher, Caputo, that type of safety. But he's got a lot of athletic ability. To see him in the 2 deep is awesome. By the way, how much fun is this that we're talking football? It's game week. Let's get it. A couple comments. Zach Ramsey. Mert seems pretty confident. Wonder what it is. Yeah, Zach, no, I hear you. Thanks for the chat. He's always confident though, right? And I respect that about him. I think him being confident is one of his best attributes. It's an attribute a quarterback needs. That's what you want out of your leader. I think he's fearless. I think he's even a little arrogant in his fearlessness, which I think is a good trait for a quarterback, right? So, yeah, he is very confident. I don't know if that's any different than in the past couple of years, though, and it hasn't fully translated. So we got to see it. But 100% agree there. Uncultured Barbarian. Interested to see what this team looks like with the new offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, and their O-line coach from 5 years back, coaching the O-line again. Yeah, I think we've talked about that a lot, and thank you for the comment. Both said moving over to the O-line. That is so exciting. I think I've talked to a couple other people on the show and off who have all said universally that is the best move this offseason. There's no recruiting move. There's no NIL move. There's no other coaching move. That is the number 1 move the Badgers made this offseason. And you have now given them this incredible pool of young talent, right? I mean, think about this. Think about it this way. Bo State has never had the young 5- and 4-star talent on a roster at one point to work with. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to become Zeitler and Kahns and Wagner and Moffitt, et cetera, et cetera. But this is as much young talent as he's ever had to work with in Madison. And look what he's done in the past. You've got to be excited about that. Even if you're a pessimist with this team and this offense, I don't see how you can be on the fence with that move. So, no, Uncultured Barbarian, thank you for the comment. Totally agree. And listen, we're going to wrap it up. I don't want to go too long on the live show. This is a really quick reaction. Oh, I did want to talk. This is the other interesting thing, and I'm curious what y'all think of this one. And then I'm going to finish off with the comments, and we're going to wrap it up. Got another show coming up tonight, by the way. Vito Calvaroso, right, the Arkansas kicker who has just a howitzer for a leg, came in, and he statistically was the best kickoff machine in the country. He's listed and hasn't played, right? He's been out for much of fall camp that we've seen and hasn't practiced, is listed as the field goal kicker, which is awesome. But he's not listed as the kickoff specialist, which is, most that's what he was brought in to do. So we'll have to see how that plays out. I don't know if there's some lingering stuff with an injury there with Vito. Definitely something to watch. Isaac Grendo listed as the kickoff returner. I've seen discussions on that both ways, right? I love it. Now, I get the point that you don't want to put a player with an injury history in one of the most dangerous spots in football because kick returns, you get popped on kick returns. But at some point, he's a football player, right? And you got to use him where you're going to use him because Braylon Allen's going to get 20 carries a game. Chez is going to get 10 or 15. So where are you going to use Guerrero if you refuse to put him on kick returns, right? Like if he gets hurt there, it stinks. We're all rooting for him. But at some level, you got to put your playmakers on the field. A couple more really quick questions, then we're going to finish up here. Again, we got another show coming up tonight. I just want to talk about the depth chart as it was released. I'm probably just as excited as everyone else. Like football's here. Let's get it. Badger and Bournemouth. With this O-line and D-line, inside linebackers, Badgers should be able to run at will versus Nebraska. Agreed. And stop them cold running. Also agreed. I have no fear at all of the Cornhuskers. I'm right there with you, man. I think it's a culture thing there. We were talking before the season, and it's not a talent thing. Their culture doesn't play for each other. I've said this before on the show. I was at a coaching clinic once. This was for basketball. But, a coach told me our culture's worth 7 to 10 points a game. I mean, he told me our players bleed for each other, and other teams don't. Not like we do. And that's worth 7 to 10 points a game. Now, that was from a basketball coach, but it's transferable, right? Wisconsin's culture is worth, I don't know how many points a game against a team like Nebraska, but it's worth 3 to 14 points a game, I would bet, against a team like Nebraska, because their culture is full of mercenaries. There's nothing built there. And if you hear Scott Frost talk after a game, that's why nothing's built there, right? He brought in a new offensive coordinator, Mark Whipple. And after the game, he said, yeah, I think our play calling on the offensive side needs to get more aggressive, adjust to this league. And I'm like, bro, you've been in this league calling plays for 5 years and you haven't been able to adjust to the league. You got a new offensive coordinator after one game, you scored 28 points and you're going to kind of throw him under the bus. Get out of here with that. That's why that culture is broken and why it's never going to be fixed under Frost, period. He can bring in talent 100%, but he can't bring in culture. He doesn't know how to coach it. 2 more quick questions. Eat, drink, listen. Friend of the show, been on the show a couple times. I love him. Mertz's confidence is his best attribute by a mile so far. Agreed. Yeah. Hopefully he shows us some reasons for his unwavering confidence. No, I'm right there with you, man. But you got to love it, right? At the end of the day, he has to be confident, because if your quarterback isn't confident, then nothing else can fall into place. So I respect the fact, I think we all respect the fact that Mertz is a gamer, right? He wants it. He works hard. He's confident. And yeah, I think we're all there with that. But he's got to prove it. 100% agree. Zach Ramsey, do you think Chez loses RB2 by the end of the year? He did start first last year. I don't think Chez is going to lose RB2. Even though Guerrero is more physically talented, I think Guerrero, let's jump baseball now. I think Guerrero's your closer. Not in the sense of closing games. That's Braylon. But in the sense of you can only give him so many touches, right? His arm can't take a bunch of throws, right? So, Guerrero's very much on a pitch count. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. My baseball analogies are mixing up here. But because of that, Chez has to be your number 2. And I think Chez is good. Chez is a really good number 2. Chez would have gone for over 1,000 yards, 4.7 per carry last year. That he would start on a lot of teams. So, no, it's a good question, but I can't see anybody that would jump Chez as the number 2 guy, because I think Guerrero's on a pitch count, and I don't think Julius Davis is there. Last question. Gorilla Connor, think we may see Miles Burkett this year? Maybe, right? I mean, so here's the thing. Nobody is going to move Mertz off that top spot barring injury, right? And that was true before Chase Wolf got hurt. But let's say Mertz goes down. I don't know. You would have to think that Deacon Hill would have the leg up, but everything that people talk about with Miles Burkett being a quick study, high IQ, great intangibles. And then again, I've talked about Deacon, right? It worries me a little bit that he showed up to camp last year or this spring overweight. And I mean, he's 260 something pounds. I think it's a bit of a red flag. Now, I would still say it's probably Deacon. He's probably next up in line. He's been here for a full season, but new offensive coordinator might even that out a little bit, right? So Bobby Ingram's kind of starting fresh a little bit this year with both of them. So I don't know. My guess would be Deacon, barring something crazy, but it wouldn't shock me to see Miles Burkett if a guy like Deacon Hill comes in and struggles. And that's it. I got one more, Gorilla Con. I love going live. This is the first time I've gone live. I'm going to do this more during the season, by the way. And I really want to thank everybody for the comments, for supporting the show. Again, it is humbling to help build this community. And that's all we're doing together, and it's just building the community. Will we see Deacon in Illinois State game? Yeah, I think so. I 100% think so. I think one of the jobs of the coaching staff right now is to get Deacon Hill ready. Just get him ready. No matter what, you have to work off the rust. You have to get some of those gears moving. So yeah, barring something crazy, and by that I mean like Illinois State somehow keeps it a close game, because Deacon Hill's not going anywhere near any game if it's close. But that would be stunning if Illinois State is in this game in the third, fourth quarter to me. So yeah, I think Deacon has to get some reps. It would really, really surprise me if they didn't, because Graham Mertz could go down on any play. That's football, right? He could roll out, get his foot stuck in turf. I mean, knock on wood, but that's football. So you have to, absolutely have to, in these lopsided games, get Deacon Hill a quarter of play. Even if it's just handing off, checking with the sideline, handing off, audible, has to be done. That's priority number one with the quarterback depth chart. And that's it. I really appreciate everybody. We're going to do another show tonight, finish up the positional previews with the DBs. I think Justin's coming on. A bunch more content this week. Working on getting an Illinois State guy coming over. John Garcia is coming up on Wednesday. We're going to talk quarterback recruiting. And as always, let me know in the comments how we can continue building this. I got the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, go join it. That's where I'm going to be doing my giveaways. Again, 100% free. No signups. Nothing required for the giveaways except to join the Discord. I think the first one's going to be a James White autographed rookie card. So just a way to say thank you. That's all it is. There's no strings attached to any of it. And with that, everybody, on Wisconsin, it's game week. Let's get it. How do I end this thing? End stream. Let's go.